In the headlines, gunmen invade Nasarawa community, shoot varsity student, kidnap businessman. NLC, TUC declare nationwide strike on November 14. Inspector General Police restricts movement across Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi State ahead of elections. On the foreign scene, no ceasefire call as G7 presses for Gaza humanitarian pauses. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Nasarawa as gunmen suspected to be kidnappers on Monday night invaded Gandu community located just 2 kilometers from the Federal University of Lafia in Nasarawa State and shot a 300-level student of the institution. The gunmen also kidnapped a popular businessman during the attack in the area. An eyewitness says the incident has caused unrest among residents of the area as most students have remained indoors since the attack. Meanwhile, the Nasarawa State Governor, Abdullahi Sule, has expressed concern over the growing insecurity around tertiary institutions in the state. The governor stated this on Tuesday during a visit to the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University of Lafia over Monday night's attack on the student settlement by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. While registering his sympathy with the management of the university over the sad incident, Governor Sule reiterated his administration's commitment to ensure adequate security around student residential areas in the state to curtail security issues. Staying in Nasarawa, the State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 5 suspects over alleged burglary and theft in the state. Public Relations Officer of the command, Jerry Victor, made the announcement while parading the suspects in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Correspondent Abdullahi Abubakar sent in this report as presented from our studio.
The persistent breaking and entry crimes have become a source of concern for business owners in Lafia, whose shops are targets for the criminals. The 5 suspects in custody of Nasarawa State NSCDC Command, according to the Public Relations Officer, Jerry Victor, have often vandalized shops, looting the items like mobile phones and clothes.
We have a suspect, Isa Yakubu, 19 years of age, residing at Angwanungu, Akurba, in Lafia, Nasarawa State. He burgled a shop located at Kurikyo Road, Bukan City, Lafia, on the 29th of October 2023. After 1.5 weeks or so, he came back to the same shop for another round of operation. That was where the luck ran out of him. He was caught on the act and brought to our office.
The NSCDC spokesman also said some of the stolen items have been recovered from the suspect, while efforts are on to recover other stolen properties. While reiterating the commitment of the NSCDC to fighting crime in the state, the spokesman added that the Corps will extend its scope to fighting other crimes beyond vandalism and theft.
As an organization, we are, of course, we do have a monthly sensitization programs that we usually have within the state to educate, the residents and the public of Nasarawa State to be law-abiding citizens. And of course, there is no crime that pays. So we are calling on the public to do the right thing at the right time.
The NSCDC is set to prosecute the arrested suspect after completion of preliminary investigations. Some of the suspects interviewed confessed their involvement in the alleged offences.
In other news, the House of Representatives Committee on Army has pledged its commitment to ensure the Nigerian Army is placed on a proper pedestal to tackle the challenges of insecurity facing Nigeria. The chairman of the House Committee, Abdullahi Mahmoud, made the pronouncement at the inauguration of the committee on Tuesday. He says the committee has a responsibility to Nigerians as he enjoins members of the committee to give maximum cooperation for the objective of the committee to be achieved. Mahmoud says the committee has developed a 4-year work plan that will judiciously be followed within specific periods in order to achieve its mandate. He says the scope of the committee's activities also include oversight of the Nigerian Army recruitment exercise.
Solicit your understanding and cooperation in and the tasks ahead, please, let's take this responsibility with all seriousness and understand that it is our duty to put the Nigerian Army on a proper pedestal to be able to end the several challenges that we've been having in terms of insecurity in the country. We have a responsibility to Nigerians and we have to be seen to be doing it. And I enjoy on all of you to give maximum cooperation so that we'll be able to succeed.
Now, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have jointly declared a nationwide strike scheduled to commence on Tuesday, November 14, across the country. The leadership of both unions arrived at a resolution following an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting in Abuja on Tuesday. The nationwide mobilization of their members and supporters has been launched, according to the unions. The action by the organized labor follows the brutalization of NLC President Joe Ajero last week in Imo State by the police. Ajero's recent attack in Owerri, the Imo State capital, has sparked widespread outrage, with organized labor accusing the Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Barde, of complicity. Elsewhere, the Inspector General of Police, Olukaide Egbetokun, has ordered a restriction of all forms of vehicular movements on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. on Saturday during the gubernatorial elections taking place across Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states. Now, addressing newsmen on Tuesday in Abuja on the preparations of the Nigeria Police towards the elections, the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, however, says that this was with the exception of those on essential services as INEC officials accredited, as well, such as INEC officials and other accredited electoral observers. Ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, and the media, among others, are also in the exempt list. Now, the Force Public Relations Officer explains that the order, which was part of measures put in place to ensure a safe, secure, and conducive environment for the conduct of the elections, is aimed at ensuring public order management, the safety of electorates, as well as assisting the security agencies in effective policing, thereby preventing hoodlums and criminal-minded elements from disrupting the electoral process. The Nigerian Senate has expressed concern over methods employed by the Federal Civil Service Commission in the recruitment and deployment of officials in the Federal Civil Service. Now, this concern was sequel to a motion sponsored by Senator Zach Titus on the urgent need to ensure federal character principle to curb lopsidedness and emerging infractions in the recruitment and deployment of officers by the Federal Civil Service Commission and other government-related agencies. In his lead debate, Senator Titus noted that the Federal Civil Service Commission has deviated from its core recruitment principles through advertisement, now resorting to using illegal methods of employment. Contributing to the motion, all the senators who spoke on the matter were convinced that if urgent action is not taken to ensure federal character principle and the mitigation of lopsidedness in appointments, it will weaken the cohesion of the civil service and its attendant damage to governance and service delivery in the country. The Senate thereafter mandated its Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters to carry out holistic investigations and come up with appropriate recommendations for the Nigerian Senate.
Following the thought that whereas introduction of IPPIS was meant to curtail and ultimately eliminate illegalities in the civil service in terms of human resource and payroll management, human factor in its application seems to be jeopardizing this noble objective of government. Regret also that employees of government are capitalizing on insider abuse to undermine the efficiency of the IPPIS.
They don't know one or two persons in high positions that will hire them. And so we must take this motion very seriously to bring sanity to the process so that at least our citizens can feel a sense of belonging to the country Nigeria.
That the three committees of the Nigerian Senate should jointly investigate this matter and revert to the Senate within 2 weeks. Those who support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
And in Borno State, Governor Babagan Umar Zulum has called on the newly posted corps members in Batch C, Stream 1 to Borno State to be good ambassadors of national unity during their orientation course swearing in Maiduguri. The governor, represented by the head of service at the swearing in of 824 corps members, tasked the new corps members to remain committed and diligent at their place of primary assignments. The Borno State Governor also noted that the commencement of the NYSC scheme in the state has signposted the return of peace in Borno State, while restating the commitment of his administration to welfare of NYSC corps members across Borno State.
Our pledges and commitment to the corps members remain unshakable. Accordingly, I hereby approve the following items as a palliative support to our corps members during your orientation exercise. 100 bags of 50 kg rice, 100 bags of 50 kg rice, 100 bags of 10 kg beans, 15 daily cans of vegetable oil, 10 bulls. You must have considered several as agents of national unity and integration.
We are very fortunate because His Excellency always goes ahead of us in meeting our present demands as it relates to corps members' welfare needs, even before such requests are made. As I speak, engineers have concluded assessment of the NYSC permanent orientation camp in Maiduguri, awaiting the next line of action by the result-oriented administration of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum.
If you distinguish yourself, you shall not go unrewarded. Many corps members in the past have written their names in gold and created positive image for themselves. I urge you to stay in Borno State, not to relocate to another state.
I don't have any regret in NYSC returning back to Borno, and you can see the corps members are happy. They are ready to stay and give their dues. Last orientation camp when we returned them, there are a lot of apprehension from parents. What will happen to them? But I'm sure later when they heard what the government have done and from what their children have told them, I'm sure we have not recorded any relocation. They are still serving in Borno.
And in other news, the Nigerian Senate is set to probe the purchase of the $5 billion presidential yacht and the circumstances surrounding the purchase. Now, the resolution was made known by the Senate Committee on Navy, chaired by Senator Benga Daniel. This was made known in a statement by the media aide to the lawmaker, Steve Oliede. Now, there has been a national outcry since information on the purchase of the yacht became public, generating polarizing views among Nigerians over the amount involved. Daniel revealed that the committee had taken the initiative to investigate the circumstances and issues surrounding the purchase of the controversial yacht within a concise time frame of 1 week. Elsewhere, the federal government has inaugurated additional enhanced e-passport facilities at selected Nigerian embassies in Italy, Spain, Greece, Austria and Switzerland. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunjiojo, inaugurated the facilities at the Nigerian Embassy in Rome, Italy. The statement by the Service Public Relations Officer in Abuja indicates that the new passport processing centers are part of efforts to streamline passport processing and acquisition for Nigerians in diaspora. The minister emphasized the dedication of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to citizens' diplomacy and the enhancement of services to the diaspora community. The Interior Minister, who was represented by the Acting Controller General of the Immigration, Caroline Adepoju, announced the phased rollout of the enhanced e-passport across Europe. The federal government is set to unveil additional enhanced e-passport facilities at select Nigerian embassies in Europe. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we take a look at the cry of Kano residents over the surge in the price of cooking gas. More on this and many other stories up ahead after this.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty. It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira exchange rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than dollar exchange rate. So you want to...
Since central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast. The number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
Welcome back to the news. A quick reminder of our top stories so far. Gunmen have invaded Gandu community of Nasarawa, shooting a varsity student and kidnapping a businessman. Also in the news, NLC TUC have declared a nationwide strike to commence on November 14. Now, fish sellers in Ogun State on Tuesday took their protest to the governor's office, decrying the incessant increase in the price of fish. The fish sellers, who were carrying placards bearing various inscriptions, have appealed to the government for an intervention over the skyrocketing prices of fish, saying it has negatively affected their business. Now, the scarcity of cooking gas in Kano State has been attributed to the ongoing foreign exchange volatility in the country. Trust TV's Idris Jibrin has a situation report on the price of cooking gas in Kano.
As the high cost of living continues to take toll on people's earnings, cooking gas is now becoming unaffordable for most people in Kano State. According to traders, cooking gas, like many other products, has no fixed price at the moment due to its scarcity. Honestly, there is no fixed price of cooking gas now. You can go to the market today, you buy it 700 naira. By evening time, it will jump to 800 naira. Like day before yesterday, we are selling it 1,100, but today is 1,200. In most places visited, 1 kg of cooking gas is now sold at between 1,000 to 1,200 naira. And this is largely because even the major dealers are not supplying enough product to the markets. Honestly, at the moment, even the major dealers that are supplying the cooking gas are not supplying enough. If you said you want to buy, let's say 10 cylinders, if you go to the major dealers, they will tell you that they can only give you 4 or 5 cylinders. So the cooking gas is very scarce at the moment. High rates of foreign exchange is among the most immediate reasons for the scarcity, according to major dealers. They say it is now difficult to get the product from Lagos and other places across the country. Well, the problem we are facing is because of the high rate of foreign exchange. All the gas that we used to buy, we do buy it from outside the country. Even like the major marketers that used to sell the cooking gas for us, they used to buy it outside the countries. And you know the price of dollars now, it's gone off. So that is why most of the major marketers are not even bringing enough, not to talk of us, the major dealers. We are not getting enough from them. Therefore, the retailers and local customers cannot get enough from us. While the price of cooking gas continues to skyrocket across the state, there are growing concerns that it may get worse in the next coming days unless the supply becomes stable. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, despite sector-wide reforms, Nigeria's ailing power sector is still underperforming, leaving much to be desired as businesses and consumers still augment their energy needs. with alternative power sources. Now, the arrested development in the power sector has become the bane of Nigeria's economy, leading to calls for more practical solutions. In this report, Abdurrahman Umar takes a look at the prevailing issues in Nigeria's power sector.
After spending over 1.7 trillion naira on power sector reforms, Nigeria is yet to get value for money as Nigerians continue dealing with epileptic and inadequate power supply. The power sector has become an insurmountable challenge holding back Nigeria's growth and development. The poor performance of the power sector in providing electricity supply is pushing many to the brink.
It's given to us. We don't have light. There's no water supply. They can't even enjoy good water. Most of the people living here now, they are depending on the borehole. So for how long are we going to continue like this as a country? Please and please, to God be the glory that I'm meeting you people. I have to tell you the way it is in my mind. We are not moving forward as a country.
While there are gaps within the system, power sector experts are advocating a robust education of the public to understand the challenges of the industry and what needs to be done to address them.
Now, you see, there is still this dilemma of how to deal with the power sector. Is it to be treated as a commercial commodity, 100%? Or to be treated as a social service, 100%? Or to have a mixture of social service and commercial commodity? That dilemma is still there. It's a wrong notion to say we have enough. No. I mean, for a country of about 200 million people, the data out there is that 90 million do not have access to electricity.
With new developments in the power industry, Nigeria appears to be lagging behind in exploring other avenues to leverage power generation and distribution.
Government is saying, I don't have the funds to provide subsidy. So it is only what the discos are sure will be paid for that they will supply. And this is where Rural Electrification Agency comes in to bring in alternative sources like solar, like wind energy, and they can subsidize their own through loans, through grants.
For businesses, the cost of production has been on a rise largely due to inadequate power supply, which has forced many businesses to rely on generators for everyday use.
We need to make the Nigeria change, because I know Nigeria before. Nigeria, then they help before, so people cannot suffer like this. But now, anyone where you see, they suffer.
This is what I have to say to Nigerians. Let us be ready to change our mindsets and pay for the electricity. Because if we have to run it ourselves, the cost will be too high.
The recent push by the House of Representatives to investigate the alleged mismanagement of $321 million and 18.2 billion naira in connection with 11 electricity distribution companies means the corruption within the system needs to be tackled urgently. But for many Nigerians, since the privatization of national asset is failing to solve the problem, what comes next? Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, foreign ministers from Group of 7 nations have wrapped up their meeting in Tokyo, Japan, with an agreement to push for a humanitarian pause in the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Japanese Foreign Minister Kamikawa Yoko announced the outcome of their 2-day discussions at a news conference on Wednesday. The ministers affirmed that they firmly condemn terror attacks by Hamas and others and seek an immediate release of hostages. They also agree that urgent action is needed to address the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip and show their support for a pause in fighting and the establishment of a humanitarian corridor. Now, the ministers have confirmed the importance of abiding by international law, including humanitarian law, and the need to prevent an escalation and expansion of the conflict. The top diplomats agreed to aim for a sustainable and long-term solution for Gaza. They affirmed that a two-state solution in which Israel coexists with a future independent Palestinian state is the only path to fair and lasting peace. Now, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake has struck Indonesia's Banda Sea on Wednesday. This is according to the United States Geological Survey, with no immediate reports of damages or casualties. No tsunami warning was issued for the quake, which hit at 11:53 a.m. local time, according to the authorities. The tremor was felt moderately in the town of Saumlaki in the archipelago's Tanimbar Islands, according to the Indonesian Meteorological, Climatological and Geophysical Agency. Indonesia experiences frequent earthquakes due to its position on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity that stretches from Japan through Southeast Asia and across the Pacific Basin. To sports now, Nigeria's second fastest 200-meter sprinter of all time, US-based Udodi Onwuzurike, is going professional. Now, he missed the golden chance to compete for the second time in the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary in August this year. Now, he also ran 19.76 seconds in the 200 meters dash earlier this year. He failed to recover from an injury he sustained while competing in the NCAA in the United States. He came to Nigeria for the national trials in June and was part of the nation's 4x100 meters relay team to the African Region 2 competition in Togo. However, the former world under-20 champion, who won the 200-meter title at the 2023 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships in June, is said to have commenced his journey to become a professional athlete, where he will compete before the championship in Budapest. He was ranked the 5th fastest athlete and joined 26th in the world all-time ranking. Well, that's all the news for now. We'll be back with more a little later. But feel free to follow us across our social media platforms as always to catch up with more content on Trust TV. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.